Oh, hi guys. I'm Leonard, and as you can see, I am currently on vacation at a beautiful beach on the north side of Crete, getting a nice sunburn. Yet again, I want to take this opportunity to showcase the latest features I have been working on for MotionCam. For those of you who don't know, MotionCam is an Android camera app to capture video based on the raw camera sensor output of your phone without relying on the phone vendor's provided video processing options. Further info is available on our website and Discord forum. So, a common issue of MotionCam for new users lies in the configuration setup for MotionCam to interact with the camera service of a phone. To streamline this, I have worked on the dense configuration wizard. It aims to automate the testing for the configuration process while showcasing the device's capabilities. Keep in mind, what I'm about to present is still work in progress and subject to change based on your feedback. We will start the showcase on a Xiaomi 14 and a OnePlus 12. On a fresh installer of MotionCam, it enters the wizard mode and displays detected focal lengths in its welcome section. Below the detected focal lengths, it shows the current preferred camera ID per focal length. During automated testing, these IDs will be tested first. When clicking on these, it lists the available IDs. Don't mind the listed resolutions for now. Both these and the camera IDs are camera service side parameters, and going forward, they shall no longer be worrisome for new users. So, the wizard offers two operation modes. Quick Test is supposed to set up the MotionCam for default usage and test every detected focal length first at 30 FPS and then at 60 in as little time as possible. So in a perfect world, this is all you need, but on Xiaomi 14 there is a particular quirk at 60 FPS on the 24mm lens. We will need to get back to that later. So when testing is done, it drops you right into the capture mode of MotionCam. Now you can easily select the camera profiles for the detected focal lenses. Just like that. Also, as you can see, I went on vacation before Mirsad released the latest 4.9 MotionCam Labs version, so it does not include his latest OP mode implementation, among other changes. Now I've reworked the FPS selection to be based on wizard results. It lists FPS slots for the most commonly used FPS values. Passing configs are in white text and failed ones are omitted as observable on the telecamera on OnePlus 12. Right here. 60 and below are missing. Untested slots are in grey text and fall back to configs of the next higher FPS slot and are only omitted if they are next to a slot of a failed wizard result. Both camera profiles and FPS slots can be marked as favorites just like this, to be quickly switched with a swipe gesture on their respective menu buttons. As you can see here. For most MotionCam users, this is all you need and you're good to go. However, to ensure that all available sensor modes on your device are actually available in MotionCam for capture, I have implemented another wizard operation mode, namely Discovery Mode. It offers to test every possible combination of config parameters, and it detects if results are redundant to already passed configs. So to demonstrate, you can see already tested results from Quick Test are still listed here, and it only tests the ones that aren't tested yet. But also, here we can fix misdetections of quick test mode, like on Xiaomi 14, where 60 FPS failed on the main lens. Let me isolate that for... You can see 60 FPS on RAW sensor works properly. And on RAW 10 it does not. There we can just force fail the config with the red X and it will be working in capture mode. However, another issue with that particular RAW sensor config is that it reports wrong data levels, just slightly. That is fixed by data level validation that is always active during testing. You get most reliable results if you shine a small light source into the frame in an otherwise dark environment. As you can see, now it is marked yellow, so it uses the measured white level. Generally, if it detects issues with the reported data levels, it will halt the auto-enumeration of configs temporarily to give you time to use your flashlight. Otherwise, it will use guessed values for white level, which may not be accurate, indicated in red. Here on Xiaomi 14 it will use the measured white level but validates the reported dynamic black level for an optimal result. But never mind it capturing 14-bit, it's bogus. I have another test case of wrong reported data levels on my rooted OnePlus 8 Pro. After running quick test, we can mount a camera driver mod that forces QVC HDR merged RAW output on the 24mm camera. The mod mounting is achieved with a separate app called ModTile Manager by a valuable member of our motion cam community, John the Farmer. However, the way this functionality is integrated in the wizard right now is not final and up to further consideration for a later release, if at all. It only enabled me to better develop this functionality of the wizard. It takes some time to activate since it has to restart the camera service. When this higher bit depth mode passes, it will allow the user to switch between the usual 10-bit and the detected bit depth in the FPS selection in capture mode. As you can see here, it takes some time again to toggle again. And now we are capturing 14-bit. And also it is indicated in the FPS selection, as you can see. The same works for the DCG mod on my rooted OnePlus 12. This test case presents a current limitation of the data level validation, since wizard testing relies on the Android auto exposure. This is suboptimal as it tends to pick exposure settings that break merge RAW and cause misdetections for data levels. Yeah, exactly. It showcases here auto exposure picks a low ISO, which violates the HCG set ISO. It needs to be above 1600 ISO, otherwise the ratio won't work and it will detect a bogus white level at like 12-bit or something. Yeah, now it was alright. It picked a higher ISO, so we have the correct 14-bit data levels. Another feature of the discovery mode can be showcased on my OnePlus 9 Pro. When running quick test, the Tiller lens detects a weird resolution for 30 FPS and a larger one for 60 FPS. Here the yellow FPS indicates that the measured FPS is below requested. The underlying quirk of the Tiller lens driver implementation is that the full sensor resolution is available for FPS values only up to 29 FPS. And it reaches 30 FPS only when requesting 60 FPS. In between that, a cropped sensor resolution is used for 30 FPS to 59 FPS. Here we can define the custom FPS values 29 and 59. After these configs pass, the fallback logic for untested FPS slots in capture mode will properly work. Also tested FPS slots config will show up there. You can set any FPS you want, it just needs to be an integer value. Another feature of the Wizard that has been silently running in the background during this showcase is the resolution detection. It's supposed to detect if the provided RAW image buffer underflows. This means the user will no longer need to manually choose a lower RAW output config resolution for a higher FPS slot. It also detects the resolution if it isn't reported by the camera service in the first place. This enables convenient 60 FPS capture on many devices where it wasn't feasible before. Also on OnePlus 8 Pro and 9 Pro, this detects resolutions for 100 FPS to 480 FPS configs on the 24mm camera. Never mind that they lack the needed horsepower to capture these properly in the first place though. On OnePlus 12 though, without root there's only a 120 FPS slot on the selfie lens. Yeah. Other high frequency mods need to be forced via root. For devices like Pixel phones, where this image buffer overflow does not occur, Discovery mode offers to optionally test other resolutions as well with this checkbox. Quick Test does this automatically. Also, what resolutions are tested relies on the enabled resolutions in the preferred Lens ID submenu per detected focal length. At last, there is another feature for the Wizard. Since it cannot be detected in an automated way, the user can identify configs to be in sensor zoom. Let's do this for the tele lens. That seems to work. We have to manually define the zoom factor in here. So it applies the factor to the focal length value, so it's properly represented in the camera profile. We apply that. These results will show up in capture mode in an isolated camera profile with its own FPS selection. Also in this menu, the color filter array format can be defined. However, this is not yet implemented in capture mode. This is all for now. The Wizard is already in a usable state and will be available for testing on the MotionCam Labs branch in the near future. Links to the MotionCam website and Discord community and so on are linked in the description. If this piqued your interest about MotionCam, there is currently an active contest to win a pro license when submitting a short film captured with the MotionCam trial version. Thank you for watching this far and see you in the next video. Ich drehe gerade. Was soll das denn jetzt, ey?